Good evening, everybody.
Hello from North Carolina.
We are Mountains to Sea Crew. I am Corey,
I'm Lori.
and we're here tonight to talk about some controversial topics.
Yeah, like my hair is
concerning
all
cruising.
messed up.
Yeah.
That's okay. Sorry, guys. I don't look that great.
Not like you didn't have plenty of time to get ready, but
I mean, I thought I looked okay until I saw myself on the screen.
you got to come in here.
I know. I
A
got a
little bit
little
early.
lipstick on today, though, and I got
there
little
you go.
pumpkins in my ears. Yeah.
Festive.
Yeah,
All right.
and a pickleball shirt.
I got my pickleball hat.
I
Yeah.
know you're an addict. But anyways, how's everybody doing? Thank you for coming out to listen to us and support us.
Yep.
And good
Listen to us
evening,
ramble on.
Scott. As always, he's driving and
Hey,
listening,
Scott.
so please be careful.
Welcome in.
I think we're gonna have some fun talking about this stuff. I hope that people will not be very passionate, and get mad at some of the things that we talk about, because this is, I mean, it's definitely, there's room for some strong opinions, and
Yep.
there
are.
And Corey and I may even differ in some of these opinions.
And there's some of them that, quite frankly, we're not qualified to even express our opinion about.
But we're gonna anyway.
Well,
no, not the ones that we shouldn't.
For our experience,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, we can only speak about what we experience.
So to give you a little bit of background.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get us caught
up. We came up with this topic.
Laura,
and then it's like,
hello.
Hey, Laura, welcome in.
Thank you.
So we came up with this topic, and we started trying to think about, all right, well, what are we going to discuss within controversies with cruising? And we came up with two or three different things.
He was watching pickleball, of course, as you guys all know. He watches it all the time. I'm like, honey, can you please pause that so we can figure out which ones we're going to talk about?
Yep. And
he gave me 5 minutes.
So what do? Jump on Chat GPT and say,
we had some before.
We had some before. Yeah.
We just wanted to see what
see what Chat GPT said. Yeah. So it gave us 10 suggestions, and then Lori asked it for more.
Of course,
so we got 30 different topics here. I doubt we're going to get through them all.
Oh my God!
Like I wasn't even some of them I'm not even going to talk about. But anyway,
we've got 5 that we're going to definitely talk about, and then
we'll see how much time we have.
And then we'll go into the real.
Yes. What Chat GPT says.
Yeah, the real
controversies,
opinions and personal experience.
But I mean, this is some of the stuff that they had listed.
It's not stuff that I thought
in general. Yeah. It's not controversies that cruisers would talk about.
No, like drink packages versus a la carte. I mean, that's not really controversial.
Yeah, sure it is.
What do you mean? That's your own personal preference.
Yeah, it's your own personal preference, but there's a lot of differences of opinion as to whether it's worth it or not.
Oh, well, yes, okay, but we're not going to talk about that.
It may be whether it may come down to how much you drink, but
well, and that's the really controversial part for other people. I mean, we could. I mean, let's go down this rabbit hole.
Why not? Right? We're already talking about it.
So let's say So this is what ChatGPT has to say. Some feel drink packages are a money saver, while others believe the price is high and not worth the limited options or caps on daily drinks.
Yeah. So if you don't know, there's certain cruise lines where you buy a drink package, great, but you have a limit on how many drinks you can have.
Correct. It's normally 15. I don't think I've seen more than 15.
I can't say all, but it seems to be, from what I know, Carnival brand cruise ships, whether it's Holland America, maybe Princess, Carnival.
Yeah, we can only speak for the ones that we've been on and we know for sure.
At least Holland America. I know for a fact.
Hello, Destination Fun,
Destination Fun, Captain Sherry. The real captain is in the house.
Yes, I'm so glad your dog is home.
I
hope he's doing okay.
I've never had the fake captain come into our live stream. So yeah, I might see him in Helen, but don't see him otherwise. So on Holland America, at least, it was limited to 15 drinks a day.
Right.
That did include bottle of water
Mhm.
or a soda,
Non-alcoholic beverages as well as
non-alcoholic
alcoholic
beverages
beverages.
as well. So you could get your specialty coffee drinks or something like that.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, good. Um, but you were limited to 15 a day. So if you're throwing in non-alcoholic drinks, it costs you a whole lot less on average than an alcoholic drink. Is it
Yeah.
worth it at 15?
Right. And if you guys are listening or watching, let us know if you've been on different lines that have more or less
Yeah.
than
Well,
15.
Royal Caribbean on Royal
And it
Caribbean
also
ships
goes to
and
certain prices
brands.
too sometimes.
Yeah, so you've got your sometimes lower tier drink packages, higher tier drink
Mhm.
packages. So if you're sitting there drinking, you know, $17 drinks or
God, I had
glasses of wine or whatever every time,
that small drink, $20
and
without any extra tip or anything.
yeah, that was on Celebrity.
Whew.
Yeah, we
The
got
drinks are
two
getting.
drinks and it was like almost $50.
And do you know what? Since we're talking about that, this would be a great transition to go into this because
Price increases.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was one of the ones that we had on our list was price increases. And talking about those drinks,
Yep.
it's drinks are like 15, 17, $20 a drink.
On some cruise lines,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're getting, of course, you know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, when we were buying drinks individually on like Icon, because we did not have a drink package on Icon.
Correct.
You know, I'm being cheap. I'd get a seltzer, or a hard seltzer or something. Those were like $7, $8, whatever they were.
Okay.
Whereas if you added the drink package, you could go up to $12 or $14 or something worth of a drink
before you had to
pay the difference or something like that. So,
all right, there we go.
All right, so
Sherry says,
my martini was $20 in Celebrity Reflection.
Yeah.
On Celebrity Beyond, we each ordered one of the house specialty drinks at Eden.
Yes. That was the $20 one.
They were $20 a piece.
No, and there was the other one too. It was it was in the middle where we didn't go there very much. We stopped and like, oh, let's stop here and have a drink. That was the small drink that was $20. I forgot the name of that one. Yeah, that was on the Beyond.
Okay, I'm editing that video now, so
we'll let you know.
You'll see that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some drinks can get really expensive, but of course on Celebrity, that probably wouldn't be fully covered in the drink package anyway. You probably have to pay the difference.
Right? Or if there's a different tier of
maybe
drink
there's
package
a different tier of drink package. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we're not the most knowledgeable about that, but I think generally speaking, if you drink that level of drink, cost of a drink, and it's different.
Oh crap! It's a green cup.
If you're drinking beer all the time, well, beer is going to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Generally
speaking, than a mixed drink or a glass of wine. So it's going to vary, but generally they say 6 to 8 drinks a day on average, and you pay for the drink package.
My dad is like, no, it says 10 for Royal Caribbean. He tries to figure it out, and he's like, yeah, that's like 10 drinks a day.
Okay.
But I don't know what price tier he's using either.
That's still on average. So if you got a port intensive cruise, well, you're going to be off the ship most of the day. So are you going to get your 10 drinks in that day? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
so exciting.
Booked again for September for Southern Caribbean. Awesome.
We're looking for September or November of next year. And we do have a Celebrity cruise we need to book.
We've got
putting that out there, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry, we've got one more future cruise credit with Celebrity, and we just have to find something worth booking it with.
All right, so let's talk about price increase. This is something that everybody can get on board because we all know that cruises, everything.
Cruises have gone up astronomically.
I mean, I can name like just a few things like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
The specialty restaurants,
the drinks,
have gone up. The price of the cruises,
10-15%. The price of the cruises has gone up.
Yeah.
the drinks packages themselves have gone up significantly, and they change daily.
They do.
You know, you never know what you're going to end up paying for a drink package. So, let's see what Sherry. Yes, come with us. We used our credit. It's a
Ooh.
9-night though. Ugh, goes down to St. Lucia. And 9 nights are just
they're tough.
Difficult,
I will
difficult for us to get away.
I'll message you,
And
Sherry.
it's September, huh? Well,
yeah, I'll message you.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
What else? Price increase. You guys have anything to say about price increases?
And the nickel and diming.
Oh yeah,
stuff,
what does it say
so.
here? There is a nickel and dime over here.
Yeah.
What did they say about that? That's true too, because
you get charged
the
for
little
all
things,
kinds of little things,
right?
Know? I mean, like when we were on Icon.
There.
Yeah.
It says from is that whaling? Paywalling certain dining venues to charging for basic amenities. Many cruisers feel that cruise lines are pushing the envelope with extra fees.
Yeah. So there are a lot of little extra fees, you know.
There are.
Like on, what was I going to say? On Icon, that ropes course thing that they had.
Oh, so much money!
Cruise,
yeah,
and it was going to be like $90 for a 3-minute event.
And nobody did it, so they cut it in half.
They cut it in half during the cruise.
Yeah.
And so people started doing it, and it was like $45.
Yeah.
Sherry says, NCL nickel and dime us and the minute we got on. We didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard there's some other cruise lines that that you got to pay for everything. Heard something just recently where, even your food's not included.
Oh my God!
You got to pay for your food.
That was like that.
And
that's
everything
the
you
big
order
thing about going on a cruise is that food is included.
Yeah.
You know.
And you couldn't even get a glass of tea for free. You had to pay for that.
That's terrible.
But it's probably like a super cheap cruise
maybe
too, so.
I mean, I went with, and one of our listeners here tonight, Laura, back in the 90s on Carnival, and I don't remember paying anything outside of my pocket to eat or anything. I mean, drinking, of course, but that's why I don't remember a lot of it. But but there was pizza in 24 hours, dinner and all that stuff. I mean, unless we just did those things because we were all like in our 20s and had no money, and so just did all the cheap stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I went on a Carnival cruise in 2007.
I was told that it has changed quite a bit from somebody just told me that today, I think.
I don't remember any specialty dining. Maybe there was stuff, but
I don't remember the specialty dining either. And if Laura is still listening, if you can chime in, if you know, or if you remember if there was specialty dining, I don't remember that they even had it. I think everything was just included wherever we went to eat. So.
But I mean, I remember on that Carnival cruise, it was cool because, sat down in main dining with people that you didn't know, and you could order whatever you wanted, lobster night. I probably had 3 lobster tails,
without having to pay.
Without paying anything extra, but that's changed a lot. So now it's like $15 or so for each extra lobster tail.
Think so. Depending on where you go.
If you get lobster tail, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't.
We did on Icon.
On Celebrity, we didn't.
No, on Icon we did. We got two lobsters.
All right. So Laura says, I don't think they offered any of that back in the 90s. Yeah, well.
Okay, good. So my memory serves me fair. Thanks, Laura.
At least in your 20s, you don't remember that. So.
I mean, I did have. There was no drink packages. I don't believe either. I mean, they could have been, but no, we just.
All I remember is I could bring a case of water with me on my first Carnival cruise. It's not any big
Mr. Do-gooder rule follower over
not
here.
Any big secret what people could do when you could bring a case of water, of bottled water on a ship, You know?
Troublemaker.
Yeah. So I brought, filled up one of the bottles with rum and then
Yes.
never
Sorry.
even opened it.
What?
I didn't drink
Yeah.
that
Put
cruise.
that up.
All right, let's see here. You used to
Yes.
have the big midnight buffets back in the day too, no extra charge. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that.
Yep. Sorry. Didn't we? What was it? Was it the last cruise we were on where they had like a little buffet up to like midnight or something? But it was like just a couple things that was out, and was that the Celebrity that we were on?
I don't recall.
I'm starting to get them mixed up, y'all. Is that what happens to you, Sherry?
Well, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before, but I worked on, did a tour on the Mississippi Queen, which was a riverboat. I was a bartender. Big surprise. Let's see what Sherry says. Yes, Celebrity does, but not like they used to back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Anyway, I worked on the Mississippi Queen, which was a riverboat. Went up and down the Mississippi, and we'd stop in all these different places through there. And this was 89, I guess, or so, 1990, sometime, somewhere around in there. And they had a midnight buffet. And it was insane, the kind of food that they had on it. It was just incredible. And, we were working till 2 a.m. So it was like, we just waited for them to shut that buffet down because then we could go up there and grab whatever we wanted.
All right, but is that maybe they changed some of those things because people weren't eating and they were losing money? Is that possible? Hey, Abby,
Abby's in. Welcome
in. Long time
in.
no see.
If you guys haven't subscribed to Abby's channel, she was the first YouTuber we ever met.
That's right.
We met her in St. Martin
2 years ago.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, and then we have here's another one here.
And Laura says it was the main dining room, either early seating or late seating, which you picked ahead and had to stay with the time you picked for every night, or buffet or pizza. Yep. Yeah. It's
no my time dining or anything like that.
Now at least you can get my time dining, and or if you're lucky like us and have a Celebrity Aqua class. You can go to Blue and just walk in whenever you want.
And we're so spoiled now. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's bad.
We were looking at another cruise and Corey was like, well, yeah, we have to get to Aqua class. I was like, but you're not going to use it. Yes, I want Blue. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Blue was well worth it.
And we talked about going with our travel agent on that particular cruise that we're not going to divulge at this point, but
particular cruise yet.
So we made her upgrade to the quick class. Also.
Yeah, I mean it cost a little bit more, but when you've got that
it's so worth it.
Small venue dining where you can walk up at any time and basically be seated.
This is not controversial, though. We got to get back on topic.
Anything
else on price increases? Anything else people want to share?
There are some of the venues, like on Icon. You look at all of the little fast food options that they had on Icon.
Oh, that's
that were all extra charge restaurants.
Yeah, like the little bit, and they were in the where the kids
in the water park.
Yeah,
and these little areas that it's like, oh, you want convenient food? You got to pay for it.
Yeah,
and it's like, what? And then went down at the water park. She said,
Laura said we had a rough back.
I had it rough back then.
But we didn't know better, and now that we know better, now we're like, oh yeah. All the fries and the burgers and stuff that you had to pay for.
Yeah, I mean they had places like that Base Camp, I think it was called on Icon.
Yeah,
where it was just fries and burgers and cheese sticks and stuff like that, stuff that you could get somewhere else on the ship. And I think they may have had a couple of free options, but you could get it for free elsewhere on the ship. But if you were in that area, you had to pay for it.
That is true. If you were lounging by the pool or outside or anything like that, yeah, you had to pay for it. But if you went somewhere else on the ship, you'd get it
Yeah,
included.
down to the
It was weird.
buffet or whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. All right, anything
All right.
else?
I can't think of anything offhand. Well, all of your ports of call, they're starting to jack up their port fees.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
and that also, the domino effect increases everything else. Yeah,
sure does. I mean, Nassau has done it within the past year, and they keep raising their rates and raising their per passenger rates, whether you get off the ship or not. So that it keeps affecting your bottom line.
Yeah.
Gratuities.
And us, of course, being in the industry, the food costs have skyrocketed, and so that you have to take into consideration too.
Not to say that there aren't reasons for it,
right?
Because every business has to make money, or they won't stay in business. And we know, being in the food and beverage industry ourselves, that the cost of everything has gone up significantly from where it was when we took over the kitchen in
2020.
It's gone up across the board. And so if our costs go up, you don't have any choice but to pass it on.
All right, I'm getting depressed.
And of course, at the same time, the cruise industry was shut down for a year and a half.
Yeah, and they're
still
trying to make up.
So they're still trying to make up for that, but they're doing okay. Demand's up, and supply and demand. So
let's talk about the supply and demand, and I'm gonna go here because I'm gonna share a little story after I say this next controversial topic. Being stranded, maybe, or feeling, like this is like if something happens, there's not enough lifeboats. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, like, my brother will not go on a cruise. One of my brothers, sorry, and because he's afraid that something will happen. He'll be stranded in the middle of the ocean, and that's it. And so, how about that for a controversial topic? Everybody goes cruising.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people that we know. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make me not want to go. No. So let's talk about like what happens if something does happen and there's not enough lifeboats.
Yeah. Well, I looked it up because I'd heard the numbers before. So the U.S. Coast Guard requires that passenger vessels have enough lifeboats or life rafts to carry the entire person count on a ship. So they have to have enough to carry everyone.
Now, does that include overbooking and stuff like that?
And that should include everything, yes.
Okay.
But only 75% of that emergency life-saving transport or whatever has to be lifeboats.
Okay, so there could be rafts that would cover that. Okay, so, and maybe people don't know that.
Yeah, maybe people don't know that. But if you look at the lifeboats, there are only so many. There's not enough for to hold the entire, 6,000 passengers plus 1,200 crew or whatever it is on some of these newer ships.
Welcome in. Wild Travels with Chris.
Good to see you in tonight. But what they're going to have is inflatable life rafts that people can get in. Now, how they're getting everybody off the ship into those life rafts is a question, because most of those are just like.
Isn't that where you just slide down?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're like canisters on the side of the ship that'll probably. I don't know exactly how they work, but they can inflate them and drop them into the ocean.
Anybody knows, let us know.
So, but they do have to have life rafts or boats to to contain everyone.
All right. So controversial, however, not a bad ending.
Something that you should know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
maybe
can
some of us
understand it.
didn't know. Yeah.
You know, there's some people that can't stand to be in a car unless they're driving.
Right. Or being stuck somewhere and they can't get off or they
yeah.
can't get out. You know, they're kind of
Yeah.
claustrophobic. So.
And
maybe that's what it is. Maybe
it's
you
a
know,
bit of claustrophobia because
being that I'm the youngest of the family, maybe they're just embarrassed to speak to me about those reasons. You know, maybe it's just being in the boat and not being able to get off. Or who knows?
You know, I have a bit of claustrophobia myself.
Yes, you do.
It doesn't always
flare
up, but you know, in certain situations, I've got to kind of stamp it down and say, you know, like it's the last time I remember it was when we were at Ruby Falls in Chattanooga.
Oh, really?
Yeah, being 1,000 feet underground, and you know,
that's interesting because
and all that stuff.
I had an issue, and we're getting totally off topic, but you get to know us a little more. And when we went to Ocracoke or the beaches out there, the Outer Banks, and we were going to the
the lighthouse.
The lighthouse. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go to the top. And I was frozen with fear, not even up to the first landing. I couldn't go. I tried 2-3 times, and I came down. I was so upset. Corey's up the top. I'm like, damn it. And so I tried again. I tried like 2-3. I was like, and then I was out there, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And you're like, I don't even know where it came from. It just hit me as like in surprise. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And my mind is, strong. And I got to the top landing, and I couldn't go anymore. I left. It was the biggest thing was that there was no cover between the stairs. The stairs, they were metal, but they had holes in the stairs, and there was nothing between the stairs, and I could see everything down. And my knees literally got weak, and like I couldn't fight through it. It was the weirdest thing. So you being underground and me going up. I thought that was funny. But anyways, a little tidbit about us personally.
I mean, like I say, for me, it doesn't always happen. You know, I don't get claustrophobic on airplanes, certainly not on a cruise ship.
Right.
Or elevators or anything like that. But
that's just interesting how it just hits you.
Yeah.
But all right.
That may be where you are at that time. So.
I know. That's why I didn't know what was going on. All right.
So yeah. That
Shall
was
we
kind of
go
a weird one, but okay.
The next topic is germs.
Germs, yes. Back during COVID, people would talk about cruise ships as just huge incubators where people were, everybody was getting infected or whatever. And actually, on our last cruise, I got COVID.
He did. I didn't.
Only the second time I had it, and she didn't get it.
No.
And we were sleeping in the same room, and in cars together, and everything else. So whether it was on the ship, off the ship, I don't know. Who knows? But
it seems to be fairly common for people to get sick. Not everybody,
happen.
But there's little groups of people
or
when
you
was
have
it that we went on and they were in the Facebook group after and like, oh, I got the crud and I this, that, and the other, and
you hear a lot of
we
people,
weren't feeling well either after that one. I forgot which one that was. Was it Ike? Odyssey? No.
I think it was Alaska.
No. It was before that. But speaking of Alaska, I'll share a story about germs. So we're everywhere we went, people were just hacking and coughing and not really even covering their mouths, and I'm like, oh god, and I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not. However, I'm in Alaska and I'm on vacation and I don't want to get sick. And so I think it was the train. So we were getting off, and again, all these people were like coughing and stuff and touching everything. And so I was getting off, and like I kind of I didn't wobble, but kind of whatever. And the guy that was, waiting or something, he's like, well, just touch the rail, just hold on to the rail. I'm like, no, I'm good. He's like, oh, so you're one of those or something like that. And I was like, No, but everybody's coughing and I don't want to touch it because we still had a bunch of time left, to
Yeah.
to enjoy our vacation, and I didn't want, I didn't want to get
Yeah.
sick. So
And I mean, you always hear about outbreaks of something. Normally it's like a gastrointestinal bug.
yeah.
That's the most common because people don't wash their hands like they should.
Mm-hmm.
But the cruise ships are doing a lot better, especially like in the buffet. Especially
Washy.
on Royal Caribbean. You come into the buffet area and it's washy. They don't make you wash your hands, but they encourage you to wash your hands. But still, that's one good thing we can say about at least the New Amsterdam with Holland America is that they served you.
Yeah.
Good evening, the Cam fam.
Welcome in.
Welcome in.
Our controversial topic at this moment is germs.
Yes. We are talking about germs right now.
People getting sick on cruises or after cruises, or like,
so yeah.
Do you go around and not touch things? You
Right.
forget to wash your hands, or
So anyway, at least on New Amsterdam in the buffet, they served you the food.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't touch any tongs or spoons or anything else. They actually put it on your plate and gave it to you. I don't know if it's always been like that or it's been like this since COVID, or
for the most part I liked it.
But I liked that. What I didn't like was they didn't have it set up very well. And so basically you had to get in
the flow wasn't easy.
Get in a line even if you just wanted one thing from that area.
Mm-hmm.
So that took a little bit more time. Of course, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, probably a lot of the other ones, you just go up, you grab the tongs or spoon or ladle or whatever, and you get whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then people don't wash their hands or they make a mess. And, it can be kind of disgusting. So,
yeah.
One piece of advice is if you go to the buffet, get your food, put it down on the table, then wash your hands before you eat.
Well, you don't want to wash it before you go in and get your food?
You can do that, but definitely wash your hands before you eat, because then you're touching your food, you're touching your utensils or hand sanitizer, whatever, if you want to prevent sickness. And then every time you change, you go to a new location, just be sanitary, wash your hands and you'll probably get sick less.
Can't finish that. Well, go to Sherry first.
Well, yeah, but we were in the middle of talking.
I know.
We can go to the comments once we
it had to do with what
talking.
You were talking about. That's why. That's why.
Let's see. Or say all still served you on Utopia. So a kid put his finger in his mouth, then touch the tongs. Yay! Gotta love that. Ask the guy behind the chicken to serve it to me. I'm not touching the tongs.
That's valid.
See y'all April 2026 for the group cruise. Not sure what that is, but
yeah.
Yep, double wash them. That's right. That's it right there.
So here's another controversial thing. So is Down Under.
The Down Under Cruisers, welcome in tonight.
Time for lunch. Happy Halloween.
We're
talking about germs, the nice controversial one. So is there I'm trying to formulate my thoughts here. So is it sometimes do you get too crazy?
There you go. That's
like, can you
Clock, Sea Legs, and others are going to the ABC Islands. Cool. Nice.
Can you get too sensitive or too crazy about it? Or should you be laid back?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like what? Just in case
There
you
are no
guys
germs
didn't
down
know,
under.
yeah, there's no germs down under.
Well, sure. I mean,
Because, like I said, I'm
you
not.
still see people walking around with masks
Well,
everywhere.
that don't do anything.
I see people walking down the sidewalk,
Yeah.
nobody around them, and they're wearing a mask. I've seen people in a car by themselves wearing a mask.
All right,
So,
that's a whole other issue.
You can get completely crazy with it.
You can't. And like I said, I'm not a germaphobe or anything like
No.
that. But if there's a lot of people around me that are coughing or hacking or not, whatever, yeah, I'm going to be aware of not touching those things, But as far as just everyday, walking around or, the ship or whatever, I'm not really worried about it.
Spiders and snakes, though, that's a different story.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody wants to.
Yeah, I've seen some of those nature documentaries on especially the spiders.
He likes those big spiders.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else on germs before we go to the next one? That's kind of like part of it. You guys have anything else on germs?
Of course, if you watch cruise news and things like that, you probably saw the report
that
the CDC has tied Legionnaire's disease to hot tubs on cruise ships.
Yes.
Not just the general public hot tubs, but hot tubs in like a suite.
Yeah.
So a private hot tub on people's balconies and things in these high-end suites. And it's like, wow, okay.
So that's going to kind of bring us to our next topic.
Let's see. With all due respect, if we get back to proper hygiene, we should stay safe and healthy. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, wash your hands, people.
Well,
don't be disgusting. Don't be picking your nose and touching stuff.
And with the water that gets recirculated, which is what that I forgot what the name of that.
Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah. Is it clean enough?
Well,
do they clean it?
Obviously, it doesn't.
Properly.
Probably didn't have the right chemical content in that, because normally hot tubs have a pretty high level of chemical.
Well, in pools too, rightfully so.
Well, yeah,
I mean, the people that are
they normally
have
chlorine, of course, in pools, but hot tubs have a different mix of chemicals and such, water softeners and other things. Okay. But and of course, if they were depending on the chlorine for sanitation, that chlorine is going to evaporate in hot water. So,
see that here, guys? You didn't know you'd be learning some stuff about that, eh?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what chemicals they use, but it's probably something other than just chlorine. Yeah. But obviously, on those particular ships, they were not cleaning those private hot tubs the way they should. And how often do they physically change the water? And that kind of brings up the other topic that we were talking about.
Do you want me to say it?
That didn't make it on the list.
No.
Yeah.
Pools on cruise ships.
Yeah, pools on cruise ships. Yeah.
How many of y'all actually go in the pool on a cruise ship?
Yeah. How often do they change the water in those pools?
And here, if somebody poops in the pool, they change it.
Oh yeah.
Really quick. But
they closed down one of the pools on.
They did that a couple times. The same cruise.
That was on Odyssey, wasn't it?
I think so. I think they did it twice.
Yeah, and it wasn't a kid that pooped in the pool.
Oh God. But so you go on cruises, the pools aren't
at least
that big,
you can see the poop, right?
And so you go all day long. People are in the pool, right? Everybody's drinking. There's no room to swim, so you're all just standing around. And do you get out of the pool or do you just stay there? What do y'all think?
So let's see. The Can-Fam says we go in the pools, and on Carnival, they typically drain them every night.
Oh, that's good.
Interesting. That just gives you the ships.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we met, I won't name them, but a cruising couple, fellow travel bloggers on Icon. and they told us, or at least the husband, would not go in a pool on a cruise ship. He absolutely refused to go in a pool. Now the water slides, they kill it with the water slides, but pools, no way.
I mean, I've gone in the pools.
Yeah, I've
We
gone
don't
in the
do it.
pools.
We
I've
don't
gone in
do
the
it a
hot
lot
tubs.
though. But yeah, we'll
You
go in the
know.
hot tubs too.
Yeah, that's if you're in a public pool,
You
you're
just,
swimming in someone's pee. Yes.
especially when
Get
you
used
guys
to it.
swim around and you feel those little warm spots. Or walk by with your drink. Okay, anyway,
yeah.
we're taking this way downhill. However, that is a controversial one as well. And so the cleanliness, do they clean your room enough? The your bathrooms and and stuff like that. Do they, or do they spend more time in the public places that are they more clean?
Well, it's you got different staff for that.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We don't go in the pools. We can never get in. Too many people in them.
Yeah, we find that as well.
That's kind of another controversial topic.
Right here?
Is the fact,
this one?
You can't ever get in the pools.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck finding a chair around the pools.
Yeah.
When we were on Icon, we wanted to see all the pools, and we had a port day in St. Thomas.
Yeah.
That didn't work out the way we intended it to.
Correct.
Because we thought we would be porting where we'd seen all the videos of people going into port, which was right there in town where you could, take the skylift or whatever up to the top of the mountain and do all these different things. And maybe I could fly my drone, whatever. But we get there and we're all the way across the bay. It's like big ship parking, I guess.
Yeah.
Which was right by the airport, so couldn't fly the drone. And we just kind of decided, well, we're going to go back in November, so we'll skip this port and we'll do all the pools.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did. And we actually got in the adults only area pool, which any other time you couldn't even squeeze in there.
No.
So
there was still not really any chairs because we sat on the hard ceramic, or not ceramic, but hard concrete in the back of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the chairs were still taken. And down under cruisers had good luck finding what? Around the pool.
Loungers,
chairs. Loungers, chairs, chair hogs. That's another really controversial one.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like the rule, like if you leave it unattended for 45 minutes or an hour, that they can put it, they can take it
now,
and put it somewhere. You can get it back.
Those,
right. But that's the thing. They don't get enforced. And, so people that, want to go to lunch or whatever, and then come back.
I mean, if you leave your stuff, you go get something to eat, you come back.
Then that should be fine.
That should be fine.
But if you're going to go wake the family, go get something to eat. And then, kids want to do something else.
Or the people that go out there at 7:00 in the morning, as soon as they put the loungers out and they put down 5 towels, and the towels are sitting there all day.
Yeah. From
and
7
nobody's
to like
there.
2. Or, 1 after,
and it's
after lunch.
Is that fair to everybody else that could be using those chairs just because you want to save it in the event that you go down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's definitely controversial.
Well, shouldn't be controversial. It should be common sense and common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
But some people don't look at it that way and they want to do their own thing. And hopefully the cruise lines will continue to crack down on that.
First serve while I was here. So
yeah. So anyway.
And there's another one that wasn't on our list that was brought up. And I'd like to, I need more information about this because I don't really know.
Coffee is a controversial topic.
All right, Sherry, tell us how the coffee is controversial. I mean, I don't drink it, so that's why I might not know. But how is it?
I don't know. I mean,
so maybe you can get it free here, but like you have to pay here.
I'll say this as far as coffee that I've had on cruise ships. The best coffee I've had anywhere was in main dining on Icon.
I remember you did like
Yeah.
that coffee. Yeah.
I mean, it was hot. It was tasted fresh.
It was hot.
I got coffee with my dessert, which was awesome.
You didn't have to wait until after you were done with your dessert to get your coffee.
Some of the other places, it was kind of hit and miss. None of it was really bad that I had. I think the worst thing I had was like lukewarm coffee, you know, and that's no fun.
Or we had to, we never got it.
Of course,
and then we're like, okay, we're out.
Yeah.
Know, so.
Well, we've had that happen a few times. But I've never been a big coffee snob anyway. Let's see here. All due respect, American cruise coffees are weak as swimming water. Yeah, a lot of them are.
Again, I'm going to go by what all you guys say because I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Starbucks fan.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Some cruise lines, it's watered down unless you buy the coffee at Starbucks on the ship or the specialty cafe and get specialty coffee.
Oh.
So, I can see that.
Have you experienced that at all, do you think?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, like if you go to, what was it, Cafe Promenade or something like that. I think all their coffee like comes from one place and it's all comes in hoses.
Yes. So here's a little tip, incoming tip.
Yeah.
We were told that if you want the coffee or the water or whatever in that area, the Cafe Promenade, that was to let it run a little bit, right? Or something like that.
At least on the icon.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't being dispensed right there. It was like coming from somewhere else. So you had to let it run for
or dump like the first 2 cups and then
dump the first couple of cups so that it was hot. If you were there in a time frame when it wasn't busy. When it had sat for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you let it run out and then you got hot coffee. But I'm not a big specialty coffee person, you know. I'll drink whatever's there, and it may not be the best in the world, but you know, gives me the caffeine kick that I need.
So you said on the icon was your favorite. So there's
in the main dining on the icon.
Okay, so there
it was
you guys
hot,
go.
It was fresh and you know had a good taste to it. So
yeah. All
right.
Any other controversial stuff you guys want to talk about?
Oh wow, we've gone.
What time
almost
is it? Oh yeah,
9:47. All right, so
interesting.
So real quick, we got a little bit of time left. I'm going to go through and see and read to you some of the things that ChatGPT said were controversial.
And if you think any of them are, let us know because I didn't think. Well, some of these are, but not all.
All right, number 1, it said the environmental impact of cruising.
It could, yes.
There's some validity to that.
Carbon
but the cruise
footprint,
lines,
waste management, fuel usage.
The cruise lines have been probably for the past 20 years working on reducing their environmental impact.
Oh, that's on the list down under.
Gratuities, yes.
Let's talk about that one. Because I did bring that one up too.
Yeah, we brought that up.
It's down further.
And it's on the list as well.
Well, let's see what they say.
All right. Let's hide that.
It was in the second batch. One moment while he slowly scrolls. Here, right there. 20.
Okay. Yeah. So number 20 on the ChatGPT list is, should gratuities be optional? Whether tips should be automatically added or left to passenger discretion is a divisive topic, with some saying crew deserve guaranteed pay, while others prefer the freedom to decide. Okay. So these folks, I know, at least when I was working on that Mississippi Queen, the steamboat, our weekly or hourly pay, which wasn't really hourly pay, we were just on a contract, we got paid next to nothing. So the only way we made any money was through gratuities. Now
they do have prepaid gratuities.
Yeah.
That they are supposed to get.
And you know, when I was working on that ship, I worked for 6 weeks and then I got 2 weeks off and then I would go back for 6 weeks. And I was working 13-hour days, serving drinks. So yeah, those folks work really hard. Should it be part of the cruise fare to begin with, so that they just pay their employees what their employees should be paid? Maybe. I mean, what is it? Virgin does that, I
And if they
believe.
do that, then the prices go up even more.
Yeah.
And
So,
so, that was something else.
let's see. So controversial, or Down Under Cruiser says ships out of Australia, gratuities are not shown. If you wish to tip, it is voluntary, not expected. And that is a cultural difference too.
Okay.
I think, unless I misunderstand, I believe gratuities are not a part of your culture as much as they are the U.S. culture. In fact, most of Europe, gratuities are not part of the culture. They're not the norm.
Now,
Whereas in the
do
U.S.,
they get paid on a different scale though? Is there a different scale of pay, or
I don't
no?
know. Don't know.
Okay.
That's a question that you'd have to ask someone that works those routes. But
Okay.
then again, in countries where gratuities are not part of the culture, the base pay of those employees is probably a lot higher.
Well, that's what I was
Here.
asking. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there we go. So correct. We pay our staff a living wage. Gratuities are an extra.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that. In the U.S., you've got a minimum wage and you've got a tipped wage. Sherry says, I would think they make a higher wage. I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not guaranteed or have, an automatic gratuity, then that would be one thing. They should be paid more, because everybody deserves a living wage.
Yeah. And they're working their butts off
Now,
too.
yeah. In the U.S., we have a culture of tipping. So it's expected to tip. And here in the last few years, people are being expected to tip for things that don't really warrant a tip a lot of times. If you do anything, people are expecting a tip now. And certain jobs, yes. The way I was taught when I went to bartending school was, just an acronym, but it says tips is to ensure proper service. And it used to be tips were given before service. And so you gave your waiter or waitress a tip and, to ensure that they gave you proper service. Now it's like expected. And unfortunately, some people think that they deserve a tip, even if they give you horrible service. But
no.
I
disagree.
We're talking about land here, not necessarily.
Right, I agree with
on
what
ship.
you say. Yes,
I don't agree. I mean, those folks work hard. Your room steward, your wait staff, they all work hard. And if part of their wage is the gratuity that gets added to your bill, then they deserve that. You shouldn't look at it like some people look at it as, oh, that's optional. I can just scratch that off, or go to guest services and scratch that off. I don't agree with that. I think that's cheating people out of money that they should have.
Mm-hmm.
We've never done that. In fact, we've always tipped our room steward and several times tipped our wait staff.
I mean, we didn't know it. We started. It was so now it's something that we've been doing a little more.
Yeah. I mean, we don't give a lot.
We try to at least do a little something
to show our appreciation for the work that they did.
Yeah. And we don't even know if what we do is nice or big, we don't
that is definitely dependent upon the service that they give us. Whatever's built into the cruise fare that the cruise line says we should pay, we pay.
Mm-hmm.
If the if our room steward or waiter, waitress, wait staff goes above and beyond, then that's when we say, all right, they deserve a little extra. So
yeah.
For us, if a person goes above and beyond, then we will give them a tip. E.g., if our steward, waiter, room goes above and beyond, they do as they do, then we give a tip. Yep. And I agree completely.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the U.S., our culture is built around tips. So, and they can get away with paying very little.
Is it that time, Sherry?
Yeah, 9:55. Good night, Sherry. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Great show. Thank you. Appreciate you coming out. Thanks for giving us some topics too on the coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of topics here. I got 30 things from ChatGPT to talk about. Maybe we'll have to carry that on next week.
We can, if you guys are interested in knowing what. Well, this was the second part. The second part was
there's a lot of stuff.
30. Oh my God.
And we got off on tips, but
yeah, I mean, it's something worth talking about because
it is worth talking about.
People especially newer cruisers, they don't know or think that they need to tip or that they should tip or that, not that they have to tip. But, like I know for me, I was like, oh, is that something that we should do? Is that something that, is expected, or do I want to do it? Do I, I didn't know. So when people actually talk about it, it's nice to know that, some people do. And, it's not expected or, or whatever. So that, I don't feel like I'm being a cheapskate or, so.
And not everyone tips extra, and there's no reason that you shouldn't
feel like you have to. Right.
I mean, if you're giving them what the standard tip rate is, it gets split among whoever, your room steward and your wait staff and whoever else that they split it among. They never really come out and say who it gets split with. They just give you kind of a generalized answer on that.
Departments or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Vague departments. But anyway, so I guess that's going to about wrap it up for us this week, guys.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Supporting us.
We've got one more week. Next week we'll be on here. The week after, we will be on a cruise.
And we did say we were going to try and do some sort of a live.
We'll see if we can try to do a live stream. I don't know. We will. I can't remember the internet being that great on New Amsterdam. So we'll see how it is in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2 weeks. We'll be here next week, though.
We'll be here next week. And maybe we'll continue on with ChatGPT's controversies and
I know, because this is something that's kind of fun.
We barely even got started on it.
I know.
We had a lot of people come in.
It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and joining in on our discussion. We had a lot of comments, which really makes us happy.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's much better than crickets.
It is much better than crickets.
Yes, so thank you.
Which is what we had last week, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It was pretty quiet last week.
All right. Guys, until next time, and from peaks to tides.
We'll see you on the next ride.
Bye, guys.
So